The proposed National Infrastructure Fund bill continued to attract mixed reactions on the floor of the National Assembly, with critics questioning the heavy influence of the executive and, to be specific, Treasury CS John Mbadi in its management. Proponents of the bill say this is the surest way of the country to unlock trillions of shillings needed to develop previously neglected areas across the country. Sam Gituku looks into the bill that, should it become law, will redefine how national projects are identified, funded and implemented.
The National Infrastructure Fund bill has divided the House between those in support of the William Ruto Singapore Dream versus those skeptical of it. The bill proposes a board of 9 directors comprising a chairperson, the Treasury Cabinet Secretary, all their representative, 4 independent directors, 2 persons experienced in senior leadership in development banking, and a chief executive officer. The bill providing that the independent directors and 2 senior experts shall be recruited competitively through a selection panel created by the Treasury Cabinet Secretary. Once appointed by the CS, the same CS shall determine remuneration of the directors and shall also sign and review their performance contracts. Members of Parliament questioning the power of the CS.
If this fund will handle billions, if it is going to prioritize projects, if it is going to structure infrastructure financing, if this board indeed is going to do all these things, why is the Cabinet Secretary sitting at the center of every control lever?
There is nowhere in this bill that shows any plan that will make sure that the money being distributed through this fund will be able to reach everybody fairly.
In November 2025, when President Ruto sold the Singapore Dream, he told Parliament the time had come for innovative ways of funding projects. MPs now saying that the fund that was sold as one to take in proceeds of privatization of government institutions is still keen on borrowing.
That we are not going to borrow at all to finance commercially viable infrastructure projects. That was what was sold. And it was sold so eloquently, so passionately.
We are now opening another debt book, which you are calling Infrastructure Fund, Honorable Speaker. The right and correct title of this bill is actually National Illegal Borrowing Fund.
But I want to assure this House, this borrowing that will be done by the board is not contributing to the sovereign debt that we have, is not in our debt book, Honorable Speaker, and therefore that's the safeguard that we have.
Members of Parliament questioned the bill on the place of oversight by the House.
For the NGCDF fund, we even approved the constituency committee. We approved the board, the committee. This particular law, the executive appoints, the executive gazettes. There is no mention of the National Assembly.
Once we force this fund to become an act of Parliament, honourable members, there will be minimal oversight by this House. Matters in terms of how do you apply the resources and in terms of how have the resources been utilised so that you can confirm that the resources were used for public interest.
What does the Auditor General do with his reports? He brings those reports to the National Assembly. Therefore, your effective role of oversight is guaranteed under the Constitution.
Should it become law as it is, the bill will herald a project identification, funding and implementing agency that walks away from the national budget, away from Parliament, away from the control of budget, away from state departments, with only an after-the-fact visibility by the Auditor General and eventually by Parliament.
It is a good initiative, but has a lot of generalities, too ambiguous, no clarity, that this House must take the role of ensuring that this bill doesn't die, but includes the components that it make it functional to serve the Kenyans.
I will forewarn, if we pass it, the court will declare it unconstitutional.
The bill will undergo amendments by the Committee of the Whole House before subsequent approval. Sam Gituku, Citizen TV, Nairobi.